A pleasant good evening to each and everyone in Georgetown, Guyana, the diaspora, and elsewhere. Friends all. Before I start, I want you to subscribe to my channel and press the bell so you will have the next updated video. And before I get into Guyana affair, I wanted to once again give my heart condolence to both sides of the Middle East, Israelites, losing of children, mothers, fathers, brothers and sisters, and also the Palestinians. But I want you all to know that this is not today. I quite understand, according to the news, President Biden was told that Hamas blew up the hospital, some missile missed Saleh and hit the hospital and killed the old. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a possibility. It's also a possibility that they can blow it up also just to accuse Israel for a major criminal crime. But also, Israel can do it and blame them for it. But what I can't understand, I don't think that that is how it went. And I am not here to judge Israel, judge the Palestinian, or Hamas. But I am here to look back into the history. And I wish today, if the Jews could have been in Guyana in 1947, they would have developed the country long before. We wouldn't have a problem between the East Indian and black people, who, when the blacks went into Mackenzie, Wismar, Buxton, Agricola, Stouffville, and many other areas where plenty blacks are, and rape and beat and kill Indian and push bottle in 6-year-old girls, the Jews would have wiped it all off the face of the earth. And I can be honest, I think that's the way it should be. Because if you don't interfere with people, they have no right to interfere with you. You know, when I think of it, everybody said, vengeance is the Lord, said the Lord. Leave it to God, He can take care of it. But God threw Lucifer out of heaven with his falling angels. He drowned the world and only saved 8 and a pair of everything. Let me assume mankind was bad and the 8 was good. For all the animals, the birds, only a pair was saved. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe in God, but I don't believe He's so cruel. And the birds and the other animals and insects didn't do Him nothing. Because men say there's no God. But at the same time, I ask many questions. Historians, kings, emperors in the past, with writers, miss the truth and tell people what the leaders want you to know. Did anyone of you see the devil or see God? No. We know according to the story of Jesus, who's Isa, Musa, Muhammad. But according to information, there was thousands of messengers that we don't know about. But the most important one, we are talking about steady. From Abraham, Noah, and all of them, right the way through. I ask many messages. You and I don't have a lifetime to live on this earth. We will die. Whether by sickness, accident, murder, like what is happening in Palestine and what used to happen in Guyana, and maybe still happening when corrupt politicians, kings and emperors, want to stretch their fingers and their hands, but they are hiding in bunkers. It's your parents or I, and our children have to face the battle and commit crime against humanity. I look at the UN and I remember that Arafat, Manhattan Begum of Israel. I remember all the peace treaty with Jimmy Carter and all of them. But I ask a question. Why bulldozing people, house shooting the children and the journalists, and you call yourself the chosen one? Ladies and gentlemen, you can talk, and the news could be missed to choose your friends or who you believe you wanted to win. But today, By the will of Almighty God, things have changed. You could see it on a cell phone. Everybody got one. They're videoing it and you're seeing. What your eyes see is what you must believe. Especially when it's coming from thousands of cell phones and nobody happens to be the one who belong there. So you can't lie no more. And the UN got to get up and do their job. Disarm the military of the Palestinian Hamas. Disarm the Israelite military and send in the peacekeeping force. And tell the occupier, who was giving the people country in 1947 to live, to respect it. This make I am afraid of human way of thinking. Now, I don't see much difference between the Jews and the Indian of Guyana. Indians love to fight for what is not them own. They'll bribe the court, they'll bribe the magistrate, they'll bribe the judge. They will bribe everybody. They would even pay to kill to get what they want. So I would have rather to have the Jews, and I swear to God, Jesus, in Guyana. They would have set an example to the true disease. Because the blacks, tribal generation, and I'm pertaining this to y'all, but not all Indian and black people like that. You have the decent one. The honorable one, not the miserable and the indecent one. Are the troublemakers. And politicians lead them up to that. I never see a political leader in Guyana, no part of third world, leading a demonstration hurting the opposition side. So with this here today, ladies and gentlemen, all of us believe in God, whether you call it Allah, Bhagwan or God. I am going to say today, God. We've been waiting on you so long. We heard of you, we believe in you, but too many wrong things are happening on this earth. People have been raped, killed, butchered, and you sit down. What are you waiting? I beg of you here today. If Hamas blow up the hospital, rock an earthquake, and kill out them and their leaders. And if it is the Jews have done it, for you are the better judge, rock an earthquake and destroy Tel Aviv and all who involved. Because we are tired for seeing on TV young children, young women, young men, people are getting killed. Not because we do not speak their language, that, but they are fellow human like us. I have lived in Guyana, and I see what the blacks have done to Indian and other races. And I'm not lying, ladies and gentlemen. I see what Indians do to accomplish their goal. They go to the Voodoo Man, the Kalimai church. They pay the same black police to lie and lock up their own because they want land and they want justice when they are the troublemakers. God, I am tired of living in your world and you allowing this to happen. Step in. Even if you have to end the world or turn it upside down and let the wicked drop off, I beg you here today. Show your ability, your power, and get rid of the parasites around the world who are holding back humanity and denying people their rights, but at the same time, God, people only uses you. All these priests want envelope for 10% and how many envelope and lying. The pandits, the imam, plenty of them are lying. I ask you here today, set an example in Israel and Palestine country to show the world who's right and who's wrong. We don't believe anymore in the UN. Man turn things around. But we don't want to hear another Israelite child, woman or man get killed from another rebel. And we don't want the same for the Palestinians and others. We have lived into this world. We have heard about the Pharaoh, Nebuchadnezzar. We have heard about all these things, the killing of all the prophets. And even Jesus on the cross, he's the only one rise according to information. I ask you, Lord, to show your ability and your power so people could come closer to you. If Israel is wrong, rock the place and destroy all who involved in it. and leave the innocent. And if the Palestinian people with the Hamas is wrong, then do it to them. So we will understand who's right and who's wrong. It will have to be the UN. It is on your chamber now, Guyana. And now let me continue by going into Guyana. Yesterday evening, a young man by the name of Brian Max, or Max Bryan, I think I remember him clearly, he was on a show with Papa Snow. And the way he was speaking and naming all the leading the PPP, from the Attorney General to Barrett Jackio to all of them, throwing numbers and figures how much money they are making, maybe he's right. Again, maybe he is right. But I did not hear me talk about the PNC, Hoyt, Burnham, come back to David Granger, and others. And he also made a mistake. He blamed the United Force leader, Nadir Mansour, that he sell out. Well, I want Mr. Bryan to know nothing personal. Get your facts together. Please, for God's sake. In the late 60s, Peter Degas, the head of the United Force, collated with PNC Burnham to bring about peace in Guyana when the black people are ready to kill out every Indian. Because under John F. Kennedy administration, we see what happened to Mackenzie, Wismar, Stouffville, Agricola, Macdoom, Buxton, Pleasant, and many more. And when the Indians ready to retaliate, Dr. Jagan stopped them. The father of the Indian, the godfather, as they say, a bloody hypocrite. Let me tell you all something. Not everybody going to sit down and allow you all to dig out the eye. We all going to walk blind. Or we all going to die. And no man live forever. Whether you're a saint, a priest, whether you're the prophet, and none of them will live. Only Jesus come out from the grave and walk. So you know what I mean? We all have to die. But we are not here to dishonor you or disrespect you, hurt you, and you should not do the same to us. Or you should not fight for land what don't belong to you, like Ahmad Ali family at Latri, Pakistan, and Mr. Mohan Lal, who blocked the Egress and Egress Road, and many problems in Guyana, people fighting for land, which bring me back into Israel bulldozing people land and bulldozing their house. Friends, if you believe in Allah, Bhagwan and God, then believe in what is right and do unto others as you would like them to unto you. I condemn killing of innocent people. Educate them, unite, but you cannot want to bulldoze people land, house, take it away from them, shooting their children, killing journalists because they're exposing you, and call it accident, and you're investigating it, and yet the investigator is not wrong. Like Mr. Ramjatan in Apnu, who's AFC, after fooling the country and fooling the coolie, because they didn't get to be Prime Minister and President Nagamutu and him, they farmed that, joined PNC, their arch enemy. They sell the rights of the Indian to the Muslim who are beating them and raping their women. These hypocrites. Don't worry, Ramjatan and Nagamutu, if y'all know who's behind us. Y'all be go down on your knee and start to beg. But let it be known to y'all, we ain't taking it. Right, Ramjatan? We want that letter you claim that your investigator say Mr. Snow pled guilty when we got all the bail paper and our lawyer, who's an AFC member. But may God have mercy upon your children and grandchildren. They will eat the filth that comes from their ass and run mad while you all will eat this shit too. Don't think y'all escaping it. Sometimes revenge is satisfaction that gives you peace of mind because we all have to die. Right? You eat chicken, you eat beef, you eat mutton. We killing animal to eat. But we left the criminals them who hurting us to God. It's time for we to do, if the Israelite is right, it's time for we to do the same blasted thing. And if the Hamas is right, it's time for me to take a pattern of that too. Because we are not here for you to be touching us, beating us, robbing us, locking us up, and then you sit down. What do you think this is? You might say I'm mad. But I'm not threatening y'all. I'm telling you what can be. And I want to ask Mr. Bryan, why under the PNC, and even later, every Indian woman go to the public hospital to make a baby. Out of every 10, 5 and 6 die in childbirth. And I ain't hear one black woman die yet on childbirth. Is it the extorting plan that's been used to poison them, humiliate them, and destroy them? I see a lot of cases where parents cry, I leave my daughter in the hospital. She gave birth to the baby. Next day I get a call, she died. And what's going on? An investigation must be carried out, Mr. Ali. There are decent black people, decent Indian people in Guyana. Or we have black and brown Israelites and Hamas in Guyana. Answer me. It is time for this world to wake up and start killing one another and unite, and nobody will take the land, the gold, the diamond with you when you're dead. Your carcass will smell so stink that sometimes the ark might refuse him to come close. My friends, I call upon you all to stop your bullshit. Stop it! And every man that you lock up wrongfully, he have a family. If a judge take bribe from a magistrate, prosecutor, and police, cause an innocent man to be jailed wrongfully, that police officer, the prosecutor, the magistrate, and judge need to be put to a wall and execute. Because y'all are corrupt. Y'all are corrupt. That is my belief, my philosophy. But once you do not hurt an innocent person, so let it be. Let's work together for humanity. Let's help the less fortunate. But Guyana, you Indian bastards, you love to bribe to get what you want and cry and make people believe you're so innocent. Providence Police Station, Chimeri, Grove, and many more, all of you taking bribe. 98% of you. But a lie detector test will be given with the right government. Now Mr. Bryan was talking about APNU PNC. And he condemned Mansour. Mansour said, no, sir, Mr. Bryan. Mansour did not. He called George Correa and asked if to give Dr. Jagan the 3 seat. And we said yes, because the Indian who's uneducated had blamed the year how we put a black man in power. We never put black man in power because we see human being. We don't see race. Because there's no such thing as a black man, a white man, a brown man, a yellow man. It's man. And I want to congratulate the Muslim organization in Guyana for protesting against Israel and calling for Palestine to be free. But I want to also ask them, what about India, Saudi Arabia, that raping and killing black children who go in there for work, enslaving them, Indian like yourself, Philippines, and others. I didn't see y'all protest against Saudi Arabia, and it's alleged it was on Facebook. I did not see y'all protest against them. Why? Is it because they are Muslim? And in India, the other day, on Facebook again, Christian and Muslim was beaten to death by the Hindu rascal, these bastards. And none of you protest. It's because you're Indian descendant? Then you're not even fit to ask for freedom for Palestine when you reject the most important thing against Saudi Arabia and India. Because you're an Indian? Well, if that, I wouldn't call that racism. I call that stupidism, ignorantism, foolishism. And yes, you cannot use religion to justify your crime. Not the color of your skin, not your nationality. What is right, and what is wrong, according to the teaching of Jesus, the peacemaker. And according to Prophet Muhammad, the warrior, who fought against his own possession. And Musa, who's Moses, threw the bloody commandment in the face of the hypocrites after crossing from Egypt into where he was looking for the promised land. So Now, Mr. Brian, get your act together. And if all those allegations you make against the PPP, how much money they're getting, and why is the salary for teachers, if those things are right, why these people are not being arrested and charged and being in jail? But a little black boy pickpocket or snatch somebody gold chain, the black police shoot him down by the market. The two black young boys maybe tried to rob a cambio, got cameras all wrong, and they shoot them down. But the biggest criminals are in Parliament, according to you, Mr. Brian. And they're not getting arrested. Whom are the judge and magistrate getting the prosecutor? Where is them? You call the Attorney General and all. If these things are truth, why they're not being arrested and locked up? Tell me. If all these allegations, politicians love to give allegations against each other. It's like a woman. She and her husband got an argument. She called him everything except he called him a good man. And then she leave him and she take another. She never satisfied because even though she make a son, and her father was a man, she wants something. She should have a robot. As much as a man got a good wife, call her all kind of name, insult her, throw her out. He take another woman, he do the same thing. He should have a dolly or a robot. Friends, you may not like it. So I'm telling you all straight. And today, since Brother Obama, if I remember right, is elect, I'm going to use it nice, sign the paper of equality, man can marry man, woman could marry woman. Why y'all don't marry one another, woman to woman, man to man, and are you going to stop the fighting? My friend, whatever the politicians do, the days are coming, they're going to answer for it. If the Bible, the Quran, and other things condemn certain things, no man should go above the teaching of Allah, Bhagwan, or God. So I call upon the world to stand up and give fair judgment. As I said, Mr. Biden, President of America, it's better to have, out of 1,000 people, to have 999 friends, because you would have all, than have 999 enemies and one friend. If your friend is wrong, let it be known. If your mother is wrong, let it be known. If your son is wrong, let it be known. You could come to a compromise, but you can't continue making the same bloody mistake every time. Come on. And you cannot be defending your brother all the time if he committed a crime. Come on, Mr. Biden. God will soon judge us. So God Almighty, I call upon you. Show the world that you are there. Too long you were silent. Show them I know you're there, but you show them you are there. If Israel is right, rock Palestine and destroy the building them, let us see. But if they are right, do the same for Israel and get rid of both sides, the corrupt warriors who are creating division among humanity. We need a Moses. We need a Muhammad, God. Jesus have done enough, and he said, forgive them for what they done. I don't believe that. Because he didn't die, but to kill people's children, their husbands. Something not right here. And I believe that any man who lock up an innocent man, he must stand trial, and once convicted must be executed. Because he's dangerous. Will you all drink poison? If by accident you drink a glass with a little poison, you meet the doctor, you survive. You can take the poison natural and drink it. So why will you keep a criminal next to you when you know and everybody knows he's a criminal? Answer me. My friends, y'all might think I'm mad. None of we will live forever. Burnham dead, Jagan dead, Hart died, and many more will soon go. So all what Mr. Brian, whatever he was saying, is a pack of nonsense. The country is older than him. He don't even know what happened in the 60s. And there's good and bad amongst both races. But what the Indian went through under the PNC, with the help of the Portuguese and the Amerindian, it was not called for. Y'all raped their women, enslaved them sexually. You're wrong that you all done. And still Stokey Carmichael and the African black leaders in America and the Caribbean were shouting for black power. Y'all use it against other race. But the Indians are not racial. They are corrupt, revengeful, spiteful, covetous. And they are very ungrateful because they don't remember kindness. But again, ladies and gentlemen, the decent Indian and the decent black people is not a part of that. Okay? Take it from me. So not all Jews is bad. Not all Palestine is bad. And well, Hamas, I don't know much about them. But you cannot be bulldozing people's house, shooting them, killing the journalists, and making an excuse. A dog fights for his puppy. A fowl will present your chicken. So remember, let's unite and make this world a better place for humanity. For we are all God's children, was created by the hands of the Almighty God, Allah, Bhagwana, whoever you want to call it. All right? So, my friend, let me calm down now and call for peace. And call upon the international community to look into the matter carefully. And I am your host, George Correa. Thank you for listening. May God be with all of us. Good night.